Imagine for a moment the sound of the modern world stopping. We are so used to the hum, the refrigerator running in the kitchen, the distant roar of traffic, the notification ping on your phone, the vibration of the internet router in the corner. We live in a cage of noise and frequency. Now imagine it all goes away. Not slowly, instantly. You wake up on a morning that feels different. The air is thick, charged with static, making the hair on your arm stand up. You reach for your phone to check the time, but the screen is black. You tap it. Nothing. You press the power button. Nothing. You get out of bed and flip the light switch. The bulb remains dark. You walk to the window. The street lights are out. The traffic signals are dead. The cars in the street have rolled to a stop. Their electronic ignitions fried. But the most terrifying thing is not the darkness in your house. It is the darkness in the sky. You look up expecting to see the sun, but instead you see a sky that is bruised. A deep swirling violet and blood-red aurora covers the entire horizon from north to south. The sun is there, but it is dimmed, veiled behind a thick magnetic fog. And then you realize the truth. The grid is gone. The internet is gone. The satellites are silent. The world you knew yesterday has ended. This is not the plot of a science fiction movie. This is a statistical certainty. For over 160 years, astrophysicists have warned us that the Earth is overdue for a massive solar correction. They call it the Carrington event. But Dolores Cannon called it something else. She called it the Great Pause. In her deepest work, Accessing the Lost Knowledge of the Universe, she was told that before the new Earth can be born, the old Earth must be shut down. The artificial matrix must be powered off so that the organic frequency can reboot. This is the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness. For centuries, this prophecy has been dismissed as religious superstition, a myth to scare children. But today we are going to show you that this event is not magic. It is physics. It is biology, and it is imminent. We are going to overlay the latest data from NASA regarding Solar Cycle 25 with the metaphysical warnings of Dolores Cannon. We will explain the specific chemical reaction that will happen in your pineal gland when the lights go out. We will reveal why this darkness is not a punishment but a necessary incubation for your DNA. And we will give you the complete declassified protocol for survival. The timeline has accelerated. The sun is waking up. Are you ready to face the dark? To understand why this event is inevitable, we must look at the evidence left by the sun in the past. We must look at the smoking gun. Most people believe the sun is stable, a constant yellow ball of fire that gives us life. This is a dangerous illusion. The sun is a variable star. It breathes, it pulses, and every so often it sneezes. On the morning of September 1, 1859, an English astronomer named Richard Carrington was projecting an image of the sun onto a white screen. He saw something that stopped his heart. 2 brilliant beads of blinding white light erupted from a cluster of sunspots. He didn't know it then, but he had just witnessed the largest coronal mass ejection, or CME, in recorded history. Usually, a solar storm takes 3 to 4 days to travel the 93 million miles to Earth. This one moved so fast it arrived in 17 hours. When that wave of solar plasma hit our magnetic shield, the world changed. Telegraph systems. The internet of the 19th century went haywire. Sparks showered from the machines, setting telegraph papers on fire. Operators were thrown across the room by electric shocks. The atmosphere was so charged that pylons were conducting electricity without batteries attached. In 1859, this was a curiosity. It was a light show. The aurora borealis was seen in Jamaica. People in Boston read newspapers at midnight by the red glow of the sky. Civilization survived because civilization ran on steam and coal. But today we do not run on steam. We run on silicon. We have built a civilization that is entirely dependent on a delicate web of microchips and copper wires. Our water pumps, our fuel supply, our hospitals, our banking system, our GPS, our food distribution. It all hangs by a thread of electricity. If a Carrington-class event hit the Earth today, it would not just make sparks fly. It would induce a current in the long-distance power lines that would melt the cores of the giant transformers that power the grid. These transformers are the size of houses. They are custom-built. They take 2 years to manufacture. If they melt, They cannot be replaced overnight. NASA has a term for this. They call it the Internet apocalypse. A scenario where the world goes dark not for days, but for months, perhaps years. And here is the critical data point. The Sun operates in 11-year cycles of activity. We are currently entering the solar maximum of cycle 25. Scientists initially predicted this would be a weak cycle. They were wrong. The Sun is outperforming all predictions. The number of sunspots is double what was forecast. The X-class flares are happening with alarming frequency. The gun is loaded. The trigger is pulled. The bullet is in the chamber. But while NASA looks at this with fear, viewing it as a disaster, Dolores Cannon's work invites us to look at it with understanding. What if this disaster is actually a rescue mission? Why would the universe allow this? If there are benevolent forces, if there are galactics watching over us, why would they let the Sun threaten our existence? The answer is profound. The solar flare is not coming to destroy the Earth. It is coming to liberate it. To understand this, we must talk about the veil. We often speak of the veil of forgetfulness that keeps us trapped in the 3D illusion. We think of it as a spiritual concept, but it is also a physical one. The Earth's magnetic field, the magnetosphere, is the physical manifestation of the veil. It shields us from cosmic radiation, yes, but it also blocks the high-frequency interdimensional data coming from the central Sun. It creates a frequency buffer that allows the low-vibration reality of the 3D matrix to exist. It holds the illusion together. Right now, physicists are confirming a terrifying anomaly. The Earth's magnetic field is weakening. The magnetic poles are drifting faster than at any time in history. The South Atlantic anomaly, a weak spot in the field, is growing. Science says this is a prelude to a pole shift. Dolores Cannon says this is the lowering of the shields. The field is weakening intentionally. It is thinning so that the new coding can come in. Think of your computer. When you need to install a massive new operating system, what happens? You cannot use the computer while it is updating. The old system must be suspended. The firewall must be lowered to allow the new data packet to enter. The solar flash or the great flare is the data packet. It is a delivery system for the gamma light codes that will rewrite the DNA of the planet. But you cannot overwrite the operating system while the hard drive is spinning at full speed. You have to stop it. The 3 days of darkness is the reboot. It is the moment when the artificial frequency of the machine world is forced to stop. The 50 Hz hum of the electrical grid which interferes with your natural brainwaves will be silenced. The constant bombardment of Wi-Fi, radio waves, and satellite signals will cease. And in that silence, in that absolute zero-point stillness, the Earth will shift. Now we must address the most urgent question. What happens to you during this time? Why is it 3 days? Why not an hour? Why not a week? The number 3 is not symbolic. It is biological. It is the exact amount of time required to chemically transform the human brain. This brings us to the secret history of the pineal gland. Ancient cultures from the Egyptians to the Vedas knew that the pineal gland was the seat of the soul. It is the antenna that connects you to the quantum field. In our modern world, this gland is atrophied. It is calcified by fluoride in the water and suppressed by artificial light. Your pineal gland produces melatonin. This is the hormone that tells you to sleep when it gets dark. But because we live in a world of eternal artificial light, screens, street lamps, LEDs, our pineal glands never fully activate. We are stuck in a state of chronic biological confusion. But watch what happens in total darkness. When the body is deprived of all light for more than 24 hours, the chemistry of the pineal gland shifts. It stops producing melatonin and begins to synthesize a powerful neurochemical called pinealine. Pinealine is a superconductor. It allows your DNA to unravel and read new information. If you stay in darkness for 48 to 72 hours, the alchemy goes further. The pineal gland begins to produce DMT dimethyltryptamine endogenously. This is the spirit molecule. Under normal circumstances, you only release massive amounts of DMT at 2 moments: when you are born and when you die. It is the chemical bridge to the spirit world. The 3 days of darkness is a planetary induction of this state. The universe is forcing humanity into a collective dark room retreat. During these 72 hours, as the lights go out and the sun is obscured by the atmospheric change, your body will begin to flood with these high-frequency chemicals. You will not be awake in the 3D sense. You will be in a lucid, dreamlike trance. This is why the prophecy says, "Sleep. Do not open the door." It is not because there are monsters outside. It is because you are undergoing surgery. You are in the chrysalis. The carbon bonds of your DNA are being loosened. The crystalline structure is being locked in. This process requires a deep comatose state of hibernation. If you fight this, if you try to stay awake with flashlights, panic and fear, you interrupt the surgery. You disrupt the chemical flow. You risk fracturing your own psyche. The darkness is not your enemy. The darkness is the womb. Let us look at what is happening outside the window while you are sleeping. What causes the darkness? Is the sun disappearing? No, the sun is still there. The darkness is atmospheric. When a massive wave of solar plasma hits the Earth's atmosphere during a magnetic reversal or a weakened shield, it causes immediate and intense ionization. The atmosphere effectively becomes a thick charged plasma screen. Historically, this has been described as a red fog or a purple haze. The Hopi elders speak of the purification day where the sky turns red. The Bible speaks of the sun turning to sackcloth and the moon to blood. These are not metaphors. They are descriptions of the sky filling with iron oxide dust and plasma. This layer will block out the visible light of the sun. The day will turn to twilight and then to deep night. The temperature will drop without the direct infrared heat of the sun penetrating the lower atmosphere. A sudden flash freeze effect could occur in certain zones. This aligns with the warnings to have warm blankets and block the windows. But there is another reason to block the windows. The atmosphere will be alive with entities. When the magnetic veil thins, the barrier between the 3D physical world and the 4D astral world dissolves. The monsters described in ancient prophecies. The demons roaming the earth during the 3 days are not necessarily physical aliens invading the streets. They are the inhabitants of the lower astral plane. They are the collective thought forms of humanity's fear, rage, and shadow. Normally, the magnetic field keeps these frequencies separate from us. When the field drops, the dimensions overlap. If you look out the window, you might see things that defy logic. You might see geometric storms. You might see shadows moving. If you engage with them, if you look at them with fear, you attract them. You lower your frequency to match theirs. This is why the instruction is specific. Cover the windows. Do not look out. It is a quarantine. You are sealing your personal vessel to maintain a high frequency inside while the storm of low frequency rages outside to burn itself out. This leads us to the ultimate test. The darkness outside is easy to handle compared to the darkness inside. The 3 days is the final exam for the soul. When the lights go out, when the internet dies, when the distractions of work and entertainment are gone, you are left with the one thing you have been running from your entire life, yourself. In the silence of the blackout, your internal volume will be turned up to maximum. Every suppressed emotion, every unhealed trauma, every secret fear you have buried will rise to the surface. Because the buffer of time is collapsing, your thoughts will manifest instantly within your bubble. If you hold fear in your heart, you will feel terror. You will project your own demons into the room. If you hold peace in your heart, you will feel nirvana. You will feel the presence of angels and guides. This is the sorting of souls that Dolores Cannon spoke of. It is not a God judging you. It is you judging yourself. The vibration you hold when you enter the darkness will determine the reality you experience for those 3 days. This is why we tell you to prepare now. You are not stocking up on food just to feed your belly. You are doing the shadow work now so that when the lights go out, your closet is clean. You want to enter that 3-day hibernation with a clear conscience and a light heart. You want to be able to close your eyes and say, "I am ready." Now let us get practical. The superconscious is not vague. It gives us a blueprint. How do you prepare your home for a 72-hour grid-down cellular upgrade event? Here is the ground crew protocol. Item 1. The light source. You cannot use electric flashlights or battery lanterns as your primary source. The batteries may be drained by the geomagnetic storm. The prophecy is specific. Only blessed wax candles will light. Metaphysically, this means beeswax. Beeswax is a high-frequency material. It creates negative ions when it burns, purifying the air. Paraffin candles are toxic. They add density. Stock up on 100% pure beeswax candles. Bless them. Hold them in your hands and set the intention. This is the light of safety. Item 2. The water. The electric pumps will stop. The taps will run dry. You need water. Store at least 5 gall per person. Glass is best, but remember the alchemical diet video. This water must be structured. Put a quartz crystal in your water storage. Write the words love and gratitude on the containers. You will need high-frequency water to support the intense electrical changes in your body. Item 3. The heat. If this happens in winter, the heating systems will fail. Have thermal blankets. Have wool. Prepare one room in the house where the family gathers to conserve heat. This inner sanctuary should be the most comfortable room away from large windows if possible. Item 4. The food. You will likely not be hungry. The body will be in a fast state to process the DNA upgrade. Digestion takes too much energy. However, have light foods ready. Nuts, dried fruits, honey. Foods that do not require cooking and hold solar energy. Do not load up on heavy meats or processed foods. They will make the vibration too heavy. Item 5. The analog backup. Print out your contacts. Have cash, though it may be useless later, it helps in the initial panic. Have books, real physical books. When the screens die, the stories remain. When does it start? How will you know? Dolores said, you will know. It will likely begin with a warning signal, a massive aurora, a sudden global internet failure, or a palpable shift in the air pressure. When this happens, do not run to the store. It will be too late. The panic in the streets will be a low-frequency vortex. Go home. Gather your loved ones. Lock the doors. Cover the windows with black trash bags or heavy curtains. Make the seal tight. Light your blessed candle. And then disconnect. Do not try to check the news. The news will be panic. The news is the old world screaming as it dies. Sit in the center of your home. Center your breathing. Invoke the law of one. I am a sovereign being of light. I am safe. I am protected. I am upgrading. If you have family members who are asleep, who are panicking, do not try to explain the metaphysics to them in that moment. It will not work. Just be the calm. Hold their hand. Tell them we are just going to camp inside for a few days. It's an adventure. Your frequency will stabilize them. You are the anchor. What happens on the morning of the 4th day? The atmosphere will clear, the heavy fog will lift, and the sun will rise. But Dolores Cannon said it would look different. She said the sun would appear whiter, cleaner, less yellow. The quality of the light will be diamond sharp. You will unlock your door. You will step outside and you will hear silence. The mechanical hum of the industrial age will be gone. The air will smell sweet like ozone and ancient rain. The colors of the grass and trees will look more vibrant as if they are glowing from within. And the people you meet will be different. Those who could not hold the frequency, those who chose to leave will be gone, shifted to a different timeline or having exited the body during the event. Those who remain will be the survivors, the graduates. You will look into their eyes and you will know. You will feel the telepathic link instantly. There will be no need for words. You will realize that the internet has been replaced by the internet. The systems of control, the banking data, the debt records, the surveillance grids will have been wiped clean by the solar flare. The playing field is leveled. The debts are cancelled. The slate is blank. This is day 1 of the new Earth. It is not the end. It is the beginning of the civilization we came here to build. This information is heavy. I know it triggers the deepest survival fears in the biological body. But I am telling you this not to scare you, but to remind you. You volunteered for this. You read the mission profile before you incarnated. You saw the 3 days of darkness on the timeline and you said, I can do that. I can hold the light when the sun goes out. You are not a victim of this event. You are the midwife of it. The earth is in labor. The darkness is the contraction. The solar flash is the push. And the new earth is the child. Do not fear the dark. You carry the candle inside your own chest. It is time to finalize your preparations. Not out of panic, but out of mastery. Check your supplies. Clear your heart. Sharpen your intuition. I want you to leave a signal in the comments, a declaration that your internal system is ready for the reboot. Begin your comment with the command code International Grid online. Then tell me one thing you are doing to prepare your spirit. Are you meditating? Are you forgiving? Are you stalking your sanctuary? Let the universe know that when the lights go out, you will turn on. We are the keepers of the flame. The timeline is secured.